Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope that you are all doing great. Today, inshallah, we are going to begin the third main articulation area, which is the tongue. Alhamdulillah, we did study the oral cavity or the jaw, and then the throat or al-halqa. And now we are going to begin the third main articulation area, which is the tongue or al-lisan. The tongue, or from the tongue, we produce around 18 letters. That's why tongue is one of the main articulation area and one of the most important areas regarding al-makharij or regarding articulation areas. Because 18 from 29 letters are coming out from the tongue. Before I begin, I would like to share with you two main pictures. I would like you to remind those pictures kindly. I did share it before, but it's very important to explain all about them now. Well, my dears, those are the parts of the tongue. And as I told you, today we are going to begin the tongue. The tongue is divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 areas. The tongue as a whole is divided into 5 main areas, which are root of the tongue, back of the tongue, middle of the tongue, tip of the tongue, and head. This tiny part, the head of the tongue. 5 main areas. We did cover this part, the root of the tongue, and we said that 2 letters are coming from root of the tongue when it's pushed back to the uvula. And it is the articulation point of Ghain and Ha. So inshallah, we will cover all this area during the next weeks, the tongue articulation area. Okay? This is for the tongue as a whole. We have something else in the tongue, which is called the edge of the tongue, which is colored in pink. This pink color, this is the edge of the tongue. Only this pink area, not all it is those 5 areas. Regarding the edge of the tongue, it's only this pink part. Okay? This is just the edge of the tongue. The edge of the tongue, my dear sisters, is divided into 1, 2, 3 areas, which are the farthest of the edge. This is the farthest of the edge. Nearest of the edge. Front of the edge. It is here. It is the same area, which here we call it the head of the tongue. Head of the tongue equal to the front of the edge. Okay? Of course, this video is recorded. So what you are going to do, of course, you are going to make screenshot and keep it and study, because all the next weeks I'm going to say back of the tongue with this, the middle of the tongue with this, the farthest part of the edge to the nearest of the edge. So you must know and remember where is where. Where is where. What is where. What I mean by this. Okay? I will repeat the explanation. This is so important. The part of the tongue as a whole is divided into 5 main areas: root, back, middle, tip, head. Very important to know what is what. Where is tip? Where is the head? Okay? And for the edge, regarding the edge of the tongue, which is colored. Kindly mute the sound. Okay. Regarding the edge of the tongue, which is colored in pink, it is divided into 3 main areas: the farthest, the nearest, the front. Here, nearest, it's here. Huh? Nearest, it's here in the middle, between the middle of the tongue and tip of the tongue, regarding the other division. Front of edge, it's equal to the head of the tongue, okay? Farthest of the edge, it's a little back farther than the back of the tongue, between the root and the back. Again, it's between the root and the back. So farthest between root and back. Nearest between middle and tip. Front equal to head. Fine. Another second main picture, I will share it with you since it's very important also during our next weeks, during our journey with the tongue. Roof of the mouth. I did explain it before, but again, from the back, this is the uvula. I have two pictures here. This and this. Uvula. This is the uvula, okay? Okay. This area is the soft palate. The soft palate. The uvula, it is simply the last part of the soft palate. The uvula, it is the last part of the soft palate. And then the hard palate. This called the hard, the bony part. It's bones, but this soft. The hard palate. Then this is called, this part called the front palate. The front palate. And then this area, which just after the teeth, is good, or and some of it, it's between the teeth, is called the alveolar ridge. Alveolar ridge. Important, yes, because I'm going to say root of the tongue with this, back of the tongue with the soft palate, middle of the part with the hard palate. Fine, fine. Of course, each letter, inshallah, we are going to take it separately, and we will explain everything about it. But this is in general very important to know the areas of the tongue and of the roof of the mouth. Okay? Just you're going to have this video as usual recorded, so kindly just make a screen picture for all the articulation points, not only for this effort. Okay. Very well. Today, inshallah, we are going to begin the first area of the tongue, which is the back of the tongue. Okay? Okay. Let's go. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Fine. Okay. Now you can see. Well, my dear, back of the tongue, you already know about the back of the tongue. It's just after the root of the tongue, remember. From back of the tongue, we produce two letters. Two letters. They are the qaf and the kaf. Up and ak. Up and ak. So two letters are produced from, I'm going to take this color. Two letters are produced from the back of the tongue. They are the qaf and the kaf. Okay? Okay. We will begin by this, by the qaf. Qaf is produced. Kindly pay attention. And of course, as I told you, you have to write after me. I don't write for you because this is very important to understand and then to express by yourself. What did you understand? This will help you to understand more. The qaf is produced when the back of the tongue is raised toward the soft palate, making full contact, no space in between. Again, the qaf is produced when the back of the tongue is raised towards the soft palate, making full contact, no space in between. Okay? And then If I keep like this, up, the sound will be inaudible. What happened after this? Second step, the two articulation or the two articulators will leave each other by a degree of force. Again, the two articulators, which are the back of the tongue and the soft palate. The back of the tongue is going to leave the soft palate with a degree of force. If this is the back of the tongue and this is the soft palate. First, the back of the tongue is raised to make a full contact with the soft palate, no space, full contact. And then back of the tongue will leave the articulation point with a degree of force. This degree of force will cause the sound, which is blocked here behind the articulation point, to be pushed with a degree of force. And this is what caused the qalqala to happen. Again, here, look to this picture. The back of the tongue is making full contact with the soft palate, as you can see. After this, if I say up and I stop like this, try it, up, the sound will not be clear, will be inaudible. So after this, back of the tongue will leave, will go back and leave the soft palate, but with a degree of force, not kindly. Kindly, we will do it with kaf, because kindly will cause hams. Hams will cause the letter to be voiceless. A lot of air will run without sound. But qaf, the sound, which is going to be passed or will be pushed through the articulation point when it is suddenly opened. It's like the Pepsi, like the cans. You know, when you open the Pepsi, you have a lot of gas already inside the cans. That's why when you open it, you hear the sound. The qalqala, it is the same. The articulation point is closed with qaf, and then we open it suddenly with a degree of force. That's why the sound which was blocked here, my dears here, a lot of sound was blocked here. It's going to be pushed through the articulation point with a degree of force. And that's why we hear the sound of qalqala. This is sound, not air. This is sound, not air. Okay? That's why qaf, when it has sukoon, it will have qalqala. If I keep the articulation point closed and I don't leave it, the sound will be inaudible. I will make it up. It's not audible, but up. Yes, now I can hear the qaf. Up. Try it. Up. Try it. Okay? That's why qaf is, when it has sukoon, it will have qalqala. That's why qaf, it's a voiced letter. It's not a voiceless. Up. Not a lot of air is going to run through the articulation point when it's opened after being closed. No, it's a sound which is running, which is going to pass, not running. The sound is going to pass through the articulation point. Up. The articulation point was closed. Any letters, my dear sisters, any letters, when the articulation point is closed for any reason, simply as that, it's going to be a tight letter because the articulation point is closed. So how the sound will be run? Up, that's it. Even if you try, you will not be able to make it up. So first, a voiced letter, not a lot of air, up, you don't feel. Tight, the sound is not running, and the letters of tight letters or الحروف الشديدة, they are gathered in a sentence. أجد قط بكت. All those, the articulation point is closed. when we pronounce those letters. Regarding, so now we talk about the period of the sound running. It's tight. The air, it's voiced, full mouth or empty mouth. Up, 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 up. It's full mouth. It's a heavy letter. The sound is directed to the roof of the mouth. So those are the three main articulators of cough. Sorry, characteristics. The three main characteristics of cough or sifat. Fine, fine. This is cough. This is cough. So quick revision upon cough. Cough, how we produce, back of the tongue will be raised to make full contact, no distance in between the back of the tongue and the soft palate, Fine, fine. And then step number 2, the back of the tongue will leave the soft palate with a degree of force which will cause the sound which is blocked behind the articulation point when it was close to be pushed by a degree of force. And this is simply the qalqala. Letter qaf, tight, voiced, and half qalqala when has to kun, and of course, full mouth letter. Fine. Let's go to letter kaf, which is coming out from the same area. Before I leave letter qaf, if you are facing, I will wait until you can see the picture. Now you can see. Well, my dears, if you facing problem in producing letter qaf, simply you can see the, no, I will show it again. Yes, you can see. If you are facing problem in producing letter qaf, you can try to pronounce it in laying back position, as we tried this before with ghain and ha. Okay, with ghain and ha, we try this to control the epiglottis. With qaf, to feel it also in just lay on your back, and you will feel it much more. You will feel it much more, inshallah. Regarding kaf, well, regarding kaf, my dears, coming out from the same area, from back of the tongue, just like the qaf. Okay, so back of the tongue with what? This is the difference. Okay, back of the tongue with the area in between the hard palate and the soft palate. So this is the difference. Regarding the tongue, it is the same area. Qaf and kaf from back of the tongue. But the difference in the area in the roof of the mouth where it makes, where they meet. Qaf with the soft palate. Kaf in the area between the hard palate and soft palate. Kaf, it's in the area between this is the red part, the soft. The white part, this the light yellow, it is the hard. So kaf, back of the tongue in the area between, with the area in between the hard palate and the soft palate. Making full contact, the same. So back of the tongue, the difference, it's where it will meet with the area in between the hard palate and the soft palate, making full contact. No space in between. No space in between the back of the tongue and the area between the hard and soft palate, like the qaf. It's closed. The articulation point is closed, my dear sisters. Closed. no space in between like the qaf. Then what will happen if I keep it closed? It will be inaudible. Ak, ak, what ak, what is this letter? I must leave the articulation point. But here it is the opposite of qaf. Qaf, remember, we said that we are going to leave the articulation point with a degree of force and suddenly, just like this. But with kaf, gently, nicely, quietly, I'm going to leave the articulation point kindly, softly, softly. So by this way, I will allow the air, not sound, air, which is blocked behind the articulation point here in this area, my dears. Okay, I will allow the air here. It is air. I want to write down air. That, of course, the mouth is not helping me anyway, but I'm trying wallahi my best. But sorry, Annie. So this is the air, okay? So it's going to allow the air, which is blocked behind the articulation point. Here we have a lot of air, is going to be passed through the articulation point when it will be opened. That's why kaf, it's a voiceless letter. Just put your hand before your mouth. You are going to feel a lot of air. Okay? Fine. So kaf come out from back of the tongue with the area in between soft palate and hard palate, making full contact, no space in between, and then the back of the tongue will leave the articulation point gently, softly, kindly. So by this way, it will allow the air to pass. You will cause qalqala to happen. And kaf doesn't have qalqala as one of its characteristics. Okay? Kaf, it's regarding the sound. We said that if any letters, its articulation point is closed, then if close your eyes, it's tied letter because the articulation point is closed. So regarding the sound, running of the sound, it's tied. The sound is not running because the articulation point is closed. Regarding the air, oh my God, a lot of air. So it's voiceless letter. Regarding full mouth or empty mouth, it's an empty mouth letter, light letter, nice. Fine. As they say always, when we make comparison between things, the things will appear easily. Now, we are going to make a comparison between those two letters, okay? My dears, this is the articulation point of qaf, and this is the articulation point of kaf. As you see, both are the back of the tongue. With qaf, back of the tongue with the soft palate only, making full contact. Kaf, back of the tongue, but with the area in between the soft, the heart, so this is the heart, and the soft, this area. Okay? Making full contact, yes. Making full contact, yes. Okay? We are making full contact, no space in between, in both, with qaf and kaf. So the difference is where we meet. Here, it's only the soft palate. Here, the area between the soft and the hard palate, okay? Second main difference, here, the articulation point, it will be opened with a degree of force and suddenly. And that's what caused the sound to have qalqala. That's why qaf is having qalqala, yes? While with kaf, I'm going to leave the articulation point, which was totally closed, like with qaf, with nicely, gently, kindly. So I will allow the air, only air, which was blocked behind, to go out. That's why it's voiceless. Gently to have to allow a lot of air to pass through, to be a voiceless letter. If I leave the articulation point with a degree of force, I will cause kaf qalqala like with qaf. Okay? The articulation point of qaf is deeper than kaf. Correct? Look here. And here, the arrows make this very clear. Fine, my dears. Fine. It's not difficult. But just I, as I always say, tajweed needs to be studied like math. It's like math. Rules, and we practice, and we solve a lot of problems upon this rule until we understand it. This is simply what we are doing here. Okay? Fine. Now we are going to take examples upon each letter. And from now on, kindly, I'm going to leave you a time so you can repeat after me. Of course, all the sounds are muted, and just you're going to repeat, but loudly. You suppose to hear yourself. You're supposed to hear yourself, okay? Fine. Let's begin with qaf. As we agree, we are going to practice the letter in all its 4 cases. As usual, we begin with the sukoon. Aqqa. Of course, this is Hamzat Wasl, okay? It's written here not correctly. But anyway. Aqqa. 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 Repeat, please. Qa. When we have any letter, with any short vowel, we agree now. We are going to achieve 2 articulation points. First, we are going to pronounce the qaf from its articulation point, and then we are going to pronounce the fatha from its articulation point, okay? Qa, qa, qa. Qu, qu, qu. Qi, qi, qi. الحق، الحق. قالوا، قالوا. يقولون، يقولون. وإذا قيل، وإذا قيل. قل، يقذف يقذف. Pay attention. Then since قاف is having سكون, so it will have قلقلة even if it's in the middle of the word. No difference. يق يق يقذف. The video will be ended soon, my dear sister. Do not go away. I will be back right away because this is a scheduled meeting. بالحق بالحق بالحق.
Salam, sister. I think you're breaking up a lot there.
فحق فحق. قول قول. لذائقون لذائقون. Okay, now we are going to have examples regarding a letter kaf. I hope the video will be enough because I need it to be in one video. It will be easier for everybody. Okay, this is for letter kaf. You can see up to now. I will wait. Yeah, now you can see very well. So my dears, Bismillah. Ak, ak. Articulation point is closed and I open it gently, nicely. So I will allow the air only to pass. There is no sound going to pass, only air. Kindly. If you leave the articulation point strongly, you will cause qalqala to kaf. Kaf doesn't have qalqala. Ak, ak, ak. Ka, ka, ka. Ku, ku, ku. Ki, ki, ki. يكتبون. يك. Kaf will have hams or will be a voiceless letter when it has sukun, even if it is in the middle of a letter of a word. Yak, ak, yak, yak, yaktubun. ذكراك ذك ذك ذكراك ذك. Pay attention. ذكراك. وتوكل وتوكل. Pay attention here, my dears. Here kaf is having shadda with fatha. So it's two kaf. The first has sukun and the second has fatha. Although the first kaf is having sukun, but I cannot apply hams. I cannot make it as a voiceless letter. I cannot, because the the articulation point is closed with the calf with sukun and opened with the calf with fatha. So here you cannot apply the hams. You cannot make it as a voiceless letter, even if it has sukun. Okay? So do not worry if you can't make. You cannot make it. وتوكل. No hams. No voiceless letter. Okay? Repeat, please. وكفى. 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 وكيلا. وكيلا. I'm going to restart all the saya because we have calf around the majority of the words. ما لكم كيف تحكمون. ما لكم كيف تحكمون. I will repeat because the note. ما لكم كيف تحكمون. Repeat, please. لكم كتاب. لكم كتاب. Well, my dear, this is regarding the Tajweed rule for today. It's not difficult, but just try to study well and concentrate. It's very easy. May Allah make it easier for you. I'm going to stop now this video. I will return back immediately. Do not go anywhere, even just to drink. Just wait for seconds. I will be back because this is a scheduled meeting. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.